In two separate studies released just this week and two newspaper articles reporting on them, we have learnt that in one study out of Scandinavia and a second study out of Israel have confirmed what we have suspected for a very long time and have been reporting on. In two separate journal articles, one out of Scandinavia, the other from Israel, we now find out the following. In the Nordic study, it is reported that SARS-CoV-2 vaccination and myocarditis in a Nordic cohort study of 23 million residents has revealed the following. It has shown that heart inflammation is more prevalent amongst the vaccinated than the unvaccinated. In this study, heart inflammation requiring hospital care was more common among people who received COVID-19 vaccines than those who did not, according to a new study of tens of millions of Europeans. Rates of myocarditis or pericarditis, two types of heart inflammation, are above the levels in an unvaccinated cohort, pegged at 38 per 100,000 after receipt of a second dose of a vaccine built on messenger RNA, that's mRNA technology, in males aged 16 to 24. The group studies have shown are most at risk of the post-vaccination condition, researchers with health agencies in Finland, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway have found. These extra cases amongst men aged 16 to 24 correspond to a 5 times increased risk after Comirnaty and 15 times increased risk after Spikevax compared to the unvaccinated. Dr. Richard Lung, a professor and physician at the Swedish Medical Products Agency and one of the principal investigators of the study, told the Epoch Times in an email. These two vaccines, Comirnaty is Pfizer and Spikevax is Moderna. This is just one study. The full details of this will be presented below for information that you can look into in greater detail. In the Israeli study, it says that increased emergency cardiovascular events among under 40 population in Israel during vaccine rollout and third COVID-19 wave. The article headline, represented by this particular study, also in the Epoch Times, the study links increase in emergency heart events with COVID-19 vaccine rollout. A new study found a correlation between an increase in emergency cardiovascular events among people under 40 years of age during the launch of Israel's COVID-19 vaccine program. Published in the Nature Journal, researchers utilized data from the Israel National Emergency Medical Services between 2019 and 2021 that evaluated emergency or EMS calls among 16 to 39-year-olds across Israel with potential factors including COVID-19 infection and vaccination rates. They found that there was a 25% increase in such EMS emergency calls between January 21 and May 21, as compared with the years 2019 and 2020. Israel, which primarily uses Pfizer's mRNA vaccine, in fact, it has signed an exclusive deal with Pfizer, launched its COVID-19 vaccine program in late December 2020. The weekly emergency call counts were significantly associated with the rates of first and second vaccine doses administered to this age group, but were not with the COVID-19 infection rates they found. While not establishing causal relationships, the findings raise concerns regarding vaccine-induced undetected severe cardiovascular side effects and underscore the already established causal relationship between vaccines and myocarditis, a frequent cause of unexpected cardiac arrest in young individuals. They recommended that when evaluating possible vaccine side effects and COVID-19 outcomes, officials should incorporate EMS data and relevant data to identify potential new health trends, such as an increase in EMS calls, and promptly investigate potential underlying causes. The article then refers to the other study that we've just mentioned by Swedish researchers across populations in Finland, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, suggested that heart inflammation requiring hospital care was more common among people who received COVID-19 vaccines than individuals who did not. And in another article from goodsciencing.com with a heading 963 athlete cardiac arrests, serious issues, 626 dead after COVID shot, has done some very interesting data collection. And it has determined that the average amount of sportsmen or women dying from cardiac arrest averages around 66 per annum. and it provides some data that shows that in the year up until April of 2022, there have been 880 cardiac events, resulting in 582 cardiac deaths, up from an expected average of just 66. This information will also be provided in the link below, and this is an extraordinary turn of events whereby we have two separate studies from different parts of the world confirming that there is now a link between the vaccine and myocarditis/pericarditis. And furthermore, we now have true data being collected showing that the increase in deaths amongst athletes is astronomically increased, almost 1,000%. This is information that you can share far and wide, and you can look at the data in your own time, and it will take some time to get through, but this is the highlights of what we've uncovered. Lots more to look at, and this will tell you that a lot more study needs to be done to get to the very bottom of this, because we simply cannot move ahead as a society without knowing the true answers of what's going on. In Australia, this would be suggested that a parliamentary inquiry would make sense. That would involve all parties, that in the upcoming election, where we should expect a minority government forming and not just one government setting a royal commission under its terms and frames of reference, but something that spans much farther and wider. Thanks for watching this edition of World Series News. I'll see you on the next show with more important information that the media simply will not cover in the mainstream. Thanks for watching.